The sky was dark, not because of night, but because of smoke. Thick black smoke was rising from the cities all over Earth. Fires burned everywhere. Buildings were broken and destroyed. The world had never seen such destruction before. The death toll was rising fast. 3 billion people were gone. The news was bad. The future looked worse that no one knew exactly how it had started. Some said it was wars between nations. Others blamed the alien attacks. Some said the Earth itself was angry. But one thing was clear. Earth was dying. In the middle of all this chaos, the leaders of Earth held a secret meeting. They met far underground, away from the noise and destruction. The room was cold and dark, lit only by a few old lights. Around the table sat the strongest leaders from every country. They wore serious faces. The air was heavy with fear and hope. 3 billion people are dead, said the Earth's chief commander. And the aliens keep coming. Our weapons are not enough. We cannot win with normal soldiers. A woman with sharp eyes nodded. She was the head scientist. There is one last option, she said quietly. We have kept it hidden for a long time. It is dangerous, but it might save us. Everyone looked at her. What is it? Asked a general, his voice full of anger and worry. She took a deep breath. The cages. The room went silent. The cages? Someone whispered. What are the cages? The woman explained. Long ago, when Earth was safer, we captured the most dangerous criminals, the most powerful people, those who could change the world with their skills or powers. We locked them in special prisons called the cages. These prisons keep them alive but locked away, so they cannot harm anyone. But why keep them alive? Asked the commander. Why not just kill them? Because, the scientist said, some of them have skills we might need. They are dangerous, yes. But if we set them free, they might help us fight the alien invasion. The room was full of tension. Could these dangerous prisoners be trusted? Or would they destroy what little was left of Earth? After long discussion, the leaders made a decision. They would open the cages. They would free the prisoners. Far away, in a dark underground prison, something stirred. Inside one of the steel cells, a man opened his eyes. He had been sleeping for many years, decades perhaps. His muscles were weak, but his mind was sharp. His name was Kale. He was one of the most feared prisoners ever locked in the cages. Many said he had powers no one could understand. Some believed he could destroy cities with a single thought. But Kale had been locked away because he had fought against Earth's rulers, wanting power for himself. Now the steel doors to his cage began to open slowly with a loud grinding noise. Kale sat up, surprised but alert. The cold air filled the room as the heavy door opened wide. 2 guards in armored suits stood outside. They looked nervous. They handed Kale a strange device, a small helmet that would help control his powers, so he wouldn't hurt anyone by accident. Get up, one guard said. You are needed. Earth is dying. Kale looked at them with cold eyes. Why should I help you? He asked. The guard didn't answer. Instead, he motioned for Kale to follow. Kale stood, feeling the stiffness in his legs. The prison corridor was long and dark. More cages opened along the way. Men and women, each with their own dangerous skills, were waking up from long sleep. Some looked angry. Some looked scared. All looked ready to fight. The guards led them to a large room filled with strange machines and screens. Scientists and soldiers were there, waiting. A man with silver hair and a calm face stepped forward. Welcome back, he said. We need you to fight for Earth. Outside, the world was breaking down. Cities were burning. Aliens flew over the skies in huge ships. People ran in the streets, trying to find safety. The death toll kept rising. Young girl named Mira watched the sky from the rooftop of her destroyed home. She held her little brother's hand tightly. Will we survive? She whispered. Her brother looked scared but nodded. We have to. he said. Mira was part of a small group of survivors. They hid from the alien patrols and scavenged what they could. But hope was fading fast. Suddenly, a loud explosion shook the ground. Mira looked up and saw a group of soldiers fighting aliens nearby. Then, strange figures appeared, strong, fast, and different from normal humans. They fought with power and skill. Mira gasped. "Who are they?" She asked one soldier. "They are the freed prisoners," the soldier said. "Earth's last hope." Back in the underground base, Kale and the others trained hard. The helmet. Devices helped control their powers, but their strength was growing every day. Kale learned to focus his energy. He could feel the power building inside him, ready to explode at any moment. The scientists told them about the aliens. The aliens were not just attacking Earth for fun. They wanted to take over the planet and use its resources for their own race. "If we fail," the scientists said, "Earth will be destroyed. Nothing will be left." Kale looked at the screen showing burning cities and dead people. Something inside him changed. He didn't want to be just a prisoner anymore. He wanted to protect his home, even if it meant fighting his own kind. One night, the alarms rang loudly. The alien ships had found the underground base. Explosions rocked the walls. Kale and the others grabbed their weapons and helmets. The fight had come sooner than expected. The base shook as alien soldiers tried to break in. Kale felt his heart pounding. He closed his eyes and let the power flow through him. With a roar, he broke through the wall with his bare hands. Aliens screamed and fell back. The other prisoners followed, each showing their dangerous powers. The battle was fierce. Outside, the sky was lit with fire and laser beams. The fight for Earth had begun. As the first part ends, the audience is left with many questions. Who are these prisoners really? Can they be trusted? Will they save Earth or destroy it? What will happen in the next battle? The story is only beginning, but the tension is high. The death toll may be 3 billion now, but Earth is not ready to give up yet. The world outside was still burning. The sky was filled with smoke and fire. Cities were ruins. The death toll kept growing. But inside the underground base, something new was happening. The prisoners who had been locked away for years were now free. They were called the Freed Ones. Kale stood in the middle of a large room. The walls were metal and cold. Bright lights shone down from the ceiling. Around him were other prisoners. Some were tall, some short. Some looked tired. Others looked angry. All of them had one thing in common: they were dangerous. They had powers that normal people did not have. Kale's eyes scanned the room. Some prisoners were whispering among themselves. Others just stared at the floor. No one trusted each other. Years of being locked away had made them suspicious. But now they had to work together. A man with silver hair and a calm face walked into the room. He was the leader of the scientists and soldiers working with the prisoners. His name was Commander Rail. He spoke clearly, but his voice was firm. "Listen carefully," Rail said. "You are all here because you are strong. Earth is dying, and we need your help. The aliens are attacking in larger numbers. Our armies cannot stop them alone." Some prisoners scoffed. One tall woman with fiery red hair crossed her arms. "Why should we help Earth?" she asked. "You locked us away like animals." Rail looked at her without anger. "Because if Earth falls, none of us will survive. We may have been enemies before, but now we share one enemy, the aliens." Kale stepped forward. "I will help, but only if we get some control over what we do. We are not your weapons." Rail nodded slowly. "You will have some freedom, but you must follow orders. We cannot risk losing control." The room was silent. Everyone was thinking. They had been prisoners for so long, but now the chance to be free, to fight for their home, was real. Days passed. The freed ones trained hard. The underground base became their new home. Soldiers taught them how to use weapons with their powers. Scientists studied their abilities and tried to help control them better. Kale trained every day. He learned how to focus his energy without losing control. His powers were growing stronger, but so was his fear. What if he lost control again and hurt innocent people? One night, Kale sat alone in his room. The helmet that controlled his power lay beside him. He looked at his hands and remembered the destruction he had caused before he was locked away. He didn't want to be that person again. Suddenly, a soft knock came at his door. It was Lyra, the woman with red hair. "I wanted to talk," she said. "We can't fight each other if we want to survive." Kale nodded. "We need to trust each other, but it's hard." Lyra smiled slightly. "I know, but we have no choice." That night, they talked for hours. They shared stories of their pasts, their regrets, and hopes. Slowly, a bond began to form. Meanwhile, above ground, the alien threat was growing worse. Huge ships hovered in the sky. Alien patrols walked the streets, searching for survivors. Mira and her small group of people moved carefully through the ruined city. They scavenged food and water, always hiding from alien eyes. One day, Mira's group found a radio. It was old and broken, but they tried to fix it. After days of work, a weak signal came through. "Earth survivors," a voice crackled. "We are the freed ones. We fight to save you." Mira's heart beat fast. She whispered, "There is hope." Back in the base, tensions between the freed ones and the soldiers were high. Some soldiers didn't trust the prisoners. They feared their powers. One soldier named Jack spoke loudly one day. "How do we know they won't turn on us? They were criminals." Kale stepped forward. "We want to save Earth, not destroy it. Give us a chance." Rail raised his hand. "Enough. We must work together. The aliens won't wait for us to argue." The freed ones and soldiers began training together. Slowly, trust started to grow. One morning, the base received an urgent message. Alien forces were moving toward a nearby city. The freed ones were sent to stop them. Kale, Lyra, and others prepared for battle. They put on their helmets and armed themselves. Outside, the city was in chaos. Alien machines destroyed buildings. People ran for their lives. Kale felt his heart race. He looked at his team. "We fight not just for Earth, but for everyone who is lost." The battle was fierce. The freed ones used their powers to break alien machines. Kale focused his energy and destroyed a giant robot with a blast of light. Lyra fought beside him, her hands glowing with fire. Together, they pushed back the aliens. But the aliens were strong. More ships arrived. The battle seemed endless. After the fight, the freed ones returned to the base. Many were hurt. Some were angry. But they had won a small victory. Kale looked at the sky. "This is only the beginning," he said. Rail agreed. "The aliens will come back stronger. We must be ready." That night, Kale couldn't sleep. He thought about the people outside, the survivors, the families lost, the children scared like Mira and her brother. He wondered if they could really save Earth. But deep inside, a new feeling grew, a hope. Maybe, just maybe, the freed ones were Earth's last chance. As the part ends, many questions remain. Can the freed ones overcome their past and work together? Will the soldiers trust them completely? How will Earth survive the next alien attack? And what secrets are hidden inside the cages that might change everything? The story continues, with the fight for Earth becoming more dangerous and more hopeful. The sky over Earth was a battlefield. Huge alien ships floated like dark shadows blocking the sun. Their engines roared as they moved closer to the cities. Earth's defenses were working hard, but the enemy was stronger than ever. Kale stood on a high platform inside the underground base. He looked at the glowing screens showing the alien fleet moving forward. His heart beat fast. The numbers were terrifying. Thousands of ships, each one ready to destroy everything. Beside him, Commander Rail spoke quietly. The aliens are not just attacking. They want to take Earth. They want its resources, its people, and its power. Kale clenched his fists. We have to stop them. But how? Rail sighed. Our armies cannot fight alone anymore. We need the freed ones to lead the battle. Kale nodded. He knew that he and the others were Earth's last hope. Outside, the alien fleet continued to grow. The sky was filled with dark shapes, cities prepared for war. People hid in shelters, praying for safety. Myra, the young girl from the ruined city, was with her group. They moved through the broken streets, searching for food and shelter. Her little brother held her hand tightly. Are they coming? He asked. Myra looked up at the sky. Yes, she said softly. We have to be ready. Inside the base, the freed ones were preparing. Kale, Lyra, and the others trained harder than ever. Their powers had grown stronger, but so had the danger. A new prisoner joined them. His name was Jax. He was a tall man with cold eyes and a mysterious past. He didn't talk much, but his strength was clear. Some of the freed ones didn't trust him. Kale watched Jax closely. He wondered if Jax could be trusted in the coming battle. One day, the base received an urgent message. The alien fleet was moving toward the biggest city on Earth, New Hope. It was the last safe place for millions of people. Commander Rail called. A meeting. The aliens will attack New Hope soon. We must defend it at all costs. Kale stood up. The freed ones will lead the defense. We will protect Earth. The room was filled with tension. Everyone knew this battle could decide the fate of the planet. The day of the battle arrived. The sky over New Hope was dark with alien ships. People waited in fear. Soldiers stood ready, their weapons pointed at the sky. Kale and the freed ones stood at the front line. Their helmets glowed with power. They were ready. The first wave of alien ships attacked. Laser beams cut through the air. Explosions lit the sky. Kale focused his energy. With a powerful blast, he destroyed one of the biggest alien ships. The crowd cheered. Lyra used her fire powers to burn down alien machines on the ground. She fought fiercely, her eyes shining with determination. Jax surprised everyone by using his incredible strength to crush alien soldiers. But his cold eyes showed no emotion. The battle was long and hard. The aliens sent wave after wave of attacks. The freed ones and the soldiers fought side by side. Slowly, they pushed the aliens back, but then a new danger appeared. A giant alien machine, bigger than any before, rose from the ground. It was covered in thick armor and glowing red lights. It moved slowly but powerfully. Kale felt fear. This machine was different. It was stronger than anything they had seen. The giant machine fired a huge laser beam. Buildings crumbled and soldiers fell. Kale knew they had to stop it. We have to work together, he shouted. Use everything you have. The freed ones combined their powers. Kale focused all his energy into one blast. Lyra threw a huge fireball. Jax smashed the ground, causing it to shake. Their attack hit the giant machine, but it didn't stop. The machine fired again, hitting Kale and throwing him to the ground. Pain shot through his body, but Kale stood up. He looked at his friends. We can't give up. Meanwhile, Mira and her group watched the battle from a distance. They saw the sky filled with fire and smoke. We have to help, Mira said. We can't just hide. Her group decided to move toward the battle to find safety and maybe help. Back in the base, scientists studied the giant machine. They found a weak point, a small glowing core inside the armor. Kale and the freed ones planned their next move. We have to destroy the core, Kale said. It's the only way to stop the machine. The next attack was risky. They had to get close to the machine without being destroyed. The battle started again. Kale and Lyra ran toward the giant machine. Jax followed closely behind. Alien soldiers tried to stop them, but the freed ones were too strong. Kale jumped onto the machines. Leg. Sparks flew as he climbed. He reached the glowing core. With all his power, Kale struck the core. It exploded in a bright light. The giant machine shook and fell to the ground with a loud crash. The crowd cheered loudly. The freed ones had won the battle, but the victory was short-lived. Commander Rail received a message from the alien leader. The message was clear. This was only the beginning. The aliens would return stronger, with more ships and more power. Rail looked at Kale. "We must prepare. The real war is coming." Kale nodded. He felt the weight of the future on his shoulders. As Part 3 ends, the story is full of tension and excitement. Can the freed ones protect Earth from the next alien attack? Will Jax become a trusted ally, or is there more to his past? What new dangers will the aliens bring? And how will the people like Mira survive in this growing war? The fight for Earth is far from over. The underground base was quiet now. The battle outside had slowed down, but inside, a different kind of war was about to begin. A war of secrets. Kale sat in a small room. His hands rested on the cold metal table. He was tired, but his mind was alert. Something didn't feel right. Commander Rail entered the room. His face was serious, more serious than usual. "We found something," Rail said. He handed Kale a small data chip. This was hidden deep inside the cages. Kale took the chip carefully. "What is it?" Rail's eyes darkened. "A secret. Something Earth's leaders never wanted anyone to know." Kale looked up, curious. "Tell me." Days before, when the prisoners were still waking up, scientists discovered a hidden chamber deep under the cages. The chamber was locked tight. Inside, they found old machines and strange devices covered in dust. One machine was different. It looked like a large crystal, glowing softly. It pulsed with energy. The scientists started to study it, and that's when they found the data chip. It contained messages and recordings from the past. The messages were from the original creators of the cages, Earth's first leaders who built the prison system decades ago. Kale watched a recording on a screen. A man with tired eyes spoke. "The cages were never meant to be just prisons," the man said. "They were part of a larger plan and experiment. We locked away the most dangerous people not to punish them, but to protect Earth while we prepared for what was coming." Kale leaned forward. "What was coming?" the man continued. "A threat from the stars. Aliens. We knew they would attack one day. The cages were designed to keep alive those with powers, our last defense." Kale's mind raced. This was new. He never knew he was part of some big plan. Commander Rail turned off the screen. "There is more," he said. "The cages also contain secrets about Earth's future. Technology that could change the war." Kale stood up. "Why keep this a secret? Why hide it from us?" Rail sighed. "Because the leaders feared what might happen if this power fell into the wrong hands. They wanted control." Kale's eyes narrowed. "And now, who controls it?" Rail looked away. "We do, for now." That night, Kale couldn't sleep. He thought about the recordings. The cages were not just prisons. They were part of a plan to save Earth. But if the leaders kept secrets from even the freed ones, how could anyone trust them? Kale decided he had to find answers. The next day, Kale gathered a small group of prisoners he trusted: Lyra, Jax, and a few others. They sneaked into the hidden chamber beneath the cages. The chamber was cold and dark. Strange machines hummed quietly. The glowing crystal pulsed with light. Lyra touched the crystal carefully. "It feels alive," she said. Jax studied the machines. "What do they do?" Kale found a control panel with strange symbols. He pressed a button. Suddenly, the crystal shined brightly. The room filled with holographic images, maps of stars, alien ships, and weapons. Kale gasped. "This is technology from the past. It could help us fight." But then, an alarm rang loudly. Soldiers came rushing in. "Stop!" one shouted. "You are not allowed here." Kale raised his hands. "We need to understand this to save Earth." Commander Rail arrived, looking angry but calm. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "But I see you found the secret." Kale looked at Rail. "Why hide this from us?" Rail sighed. "Because power can be dangerous. But maybe it's time you knew everything." Rail explained that the cages were built as part of a secret experiment to prepare for the alien invasion. The prisoners inside were not just criminals, they were test subjects, enhanced with technology and powers to defend Earth. The glowing crystal was a power source from an ancient Earth civilization, capable of boosting the freed one's abilities. Rail warned that if the aliens learned about this technology, they would try to take it. Kale and the others realized their mission was bigger than they thought. They were not just fighting to survive, they were guardians of Earth's deepest secrets. They began training with the new technology. The crystal's power made their abilities stronger, but it was hard to control. Lyra struggled with the energy, her fire powers becoming unstable. Jax focused and controlled his strength better than ever. Kale felt the power inside him grow. It was thrilling but dangerous. Meanwhile, the alien threat was not slowing down. Scouts reported new enemy ships moving closer to Earth. The war was far from over. Kale knew that the secrets of the cages might be Earth's only hope. As Part 4 ends, many questions remain. Can the freed ones control this new power? Will the alien enemies discover the secret technology? Who can really be trusted inside the base? And what will happen if the power falls into the wrong hands? The story grows darker and more intense as Earth's fate hangs in the balance. Earth was trembling. The fires from the previous battle still burned, and the scars of war covered every city. But the deadliest battle was yet to come. The alien armada was gathering again, larger and more powerful than ever before. Kale stood at the edge of the underground base's command center. His eyes scanned the massive screens showing the approaching alien fleet. Hundreds of ships moved like a dark storm, heading straight for Earth's last strongholds. The weight of the future pressed heavily on his shoulders. Commander Rail stood beside him. His usually calm face was tense. "This is it, Kale. The aliens want to end us once and for all." Kale clenched his fists. "Then we must be ready. This is our last chance to save Earth." In the underground base, the freed ones and Earth soldiers prepared for war. The air was thick with fear and determination. Everyone knew this fight would decide who would live or die. Lyra paced nervously, her hands glowing faintly with the power of the crystal. "We have trained for this moment, but I fear what lies ahead." Jax was quiet, his expression unreadable. He tightened his grip on his weapon, ready to fight. Kale gathered his team. "We have something the aliens don't. Reason to fight. For our homes, our families, and our future. We will not give up." Outside, the sky was dark. The alien ships filled the horizon like an endless wave. People in the cities looked up in fear, praying for a miracle. Mira and her group had joined. A group of soldiers defending the city of New Hope. They moved carefully through the ruins, helping injured civilians and setting traps for the alien soldiers. "We have to hold the line," Mira said firmly. "If New Hope falls, all hope is lost." Her little brother nodded, gripping her hand tightly. "I'm scared," he whispered. Mira smiled. "We all are. But we must be brave." The battle began with a thunderous roar. Alien ships fired beams of energy, lighting up the sky. Explosions shook the ground. Earth's defense systems launched missiles trying to stop the attackers. Kale and the freed ones moved swiftly. Their powers shone like stars in the dark battlefield. Kale focused his energy, creating a shield to protect the soldiers behind him. Lyra sent fireballs crashing into enemy machines, burning them to ash. Jax smashed through alien lines with brute strength, tearing enemies apart. Despite their strength, the aliens were relentless. Wave after wave came at them. The ground shook under the weight of the battle. In the middle of the fight, Kale saw an alien commander, a tall figure with glowing eyes and strange armor, directing the troops. Kale felt a chill. This was the leader of the invasion. Without hesitation, Kale charged toward the commander. The two clashed with incredible force. Energy crackled around them as they fought. The alien commander laughed. "You cannot stop us." "Human." Kale gritted his teeth. "Earth will never fall." Their fight shook the ground, and soldiers stopped to watch. The battle between Kale and the alien commander became a symbol of hope for Earth's defenders. Meanwhile, inside the command center, Commander Rail coordinated the defense. Scientists worked to keep the crystal's power stable, sending energy to the freed ones on the battlefield. But suddenly, alarms blared. A massive alien ship broke through Earth's defenses, heading straight for the underground base. Rail's face turned pale. "They're attacking our home." Kale received the message. "We have to protect the base too." Kale and his team rushed back. The alien ship hovered above the base, firing beams that shattered walls and shook the ground. The freed ones fought fiercely to stop the attack. Kale used all his energy to create a barrier on the base. Lyra's fire destroyed the alien soldiers trying to land. Jocks smashed the ship's landing legs. The battle was fierce and desperate. Inside the base, Mira and her group helped evacuate scientists and soldiers. "We must get everyone to safety," she said. Her brother helped carry injured people. "We won't leave anyone behind," Mira promised Jada. As the alien ship crashed, the base trembled. The battle was far from over. More ships were on their way. Kale looked around at his team. "We have to stand strong for Earth." In the final moments, the freed ones and soldiers fought side by side. They pushed the aliens back, step by step, faced the alien commander once again. This time, Kale was stronger. With a final blast of energy, he defeated the commander. The alien forces began to retreat. The battle was over, but the cost was high. Cities were in ruins, many lives were lost. Kale stood among the survivors. "This is not the end," he said. "The aliens will return, but we will be ready." Commander Rail nodded. "Earth has fought back. We have hope." Mira looked up at the sky. "We survived." Her little brother smiled. "We will fight again." As Part 5 ends, the story is filled with hope and courage, but the fight is not over. Will Earth truly find peace? What new dangers await the freed ones? And can humanity unite to face the unknown future? The story continues, and the final stand is just the beginning. The sky over Earth was slowly clearing. The fires from the recent battle still smoked, but for the first time in many months, the sun broke through the clouds. Birds cautiously returned to the trees, and some animals began to explore the quiet ruins. It was a small sign of hope, a new dawn after years of darkness. Kale stood on a high hill overlooking the shattered city of New Hope. His eyes traced the broken buildings and ruined streets. The cost of the war was clear everywhere. Thousands of lives had been lost, families torn apart, and cities destroyed. Yet, in the faces of the survivors below, Kale saw determination and courage. "This is what we fight for," he whispered to himself. Behind him, Lyra approached quietly. Her red hair was messy from the battles, but her eyes shone with a new light. "The war may be over for now, but the future is uncertain," she said softly. "We have to rebuild stronger than before." Kale nodded. "The aliens retreated, but they will come back. We need to be ready." The underground base, once a place of fear and secrets, was now the heart of Earth's rebuilding efforts. Freed ones and soldiers worked side by side, repairing machines, planning new defenses, and helping the survivors. JX was among them, his cold eyes now softer but still watchful. He helped train new recruits, teaching them how to fight and survive. His strength and experience were valuable, but many still wondered about his past and whether he could be fully trusted. Kale often thought about trust. He had learned that even the strongest powers were useless without trust and unity. The freed ones were no longer prisoners. They were protectors of Earth. One day, a group of scientists came to Kale with urgent news. They had detected a strange signal coming from deep space. It was faint but clear, a message in a language unknown to Earth. Commander Rail gathered the leaders. "This signal could be a warning or a call for help," he said. "We don't know what it means, but we must investigate." Kale volunteered to lead a team to find the source of the signal. "If it's a threat, we need to face it. If it's a chance for peace, we must take it." Lyra and Jax joined him, along with other freed ones and soldiers. As they prepared to leave Earth, Mira watched from the city. She and her group had become part of the rebuilding effort, helping families and protecting the weak. "I hope they find answers," she whispered, "for all our sakes." Her little brother stood beside her, stronger now but still young. "They will be heroes," he said with hope. The spaceship carrying Kale and his team left Earth's atmosphere. The stars stretched out before them, vast and unknown. Days passed as they traveled through space, following the strange signal. The tension was high, but so was the hope. Finally, they reached a distant planet. It was quiet, covered in strange plants and glowing rocks. Kale led the team carefully down to the surface. They found ancient ruin signs of a lost civilization. Among the ruins was a device emitting the signal. It was a beacon, a warning about a new danger in the galaxy. Suddenly, the ground shook. Aliens appeared different from the ones who attacked Earth. They were tall and fierce, with weapons unlike anything Kale had seen. A battle broke out. The team fought bravely, using their powers and weapons. Kale and Lyra worked together, protecting their team. Jax fought fiercely, smashing enemies and shielding others. The new aliens were strong, but Kale's team held their ground. After the battle, the team found a message from the ancient civilization. It spoke of a darkness spreading across the galaxy, a force that destroyed worlds and enslaved species. The signal was a call for help, sent before the ancient civilization fell. Kale realized Earth's fight was far from over. The aliens they defeated were just the beginning. Back on Earth, the survivors waited anxiously. Mira prayed for Kale and his team's safe return. Commander Rail prepared Earth's defenses for whatever was coming next. Kale and his team returned to Earth with new knowledge and new challenges. "We must unite all of humanity," Kale said. "We face a darkness greater than any alien invasion. Together, we can survive." The freed ones and soldiers joined hands, ready for the future. As Part 6 ends, the story leaves the audience with hope and suspense. Will Earth and humanity survive the coming darkness? Can the freed ones and humans truly unite? What new adventures and dangers await? Is this a new dawn or the final night for Earth? The fight for survival continues, but humanity's spirit burns brighter than ever.